Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Hunt for Love Season 1 Episode 6, The Girl Who Hurt You Much. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it. We got some stuff to really discuss and some confusing things and some what in the world kind of moments. So we kicked off the episode where we left off last week with Jen and Cole on a date. They went on a date after that, after all them games that they played last week and everything, and they talked all about Rob and everything. And Jen said that she hadn't kissed neither one of them yet, which she was lying to, and we'll get more into that in a minute. And then we seen Jen and Cole basically like talking, and then they start kissing and everything. So they start kissing, and then we're back at the beach, and everybody's just chilling and vibing at the beach and everything. Chantel had said that her and Rob did go on their date, but Rob was still too hung up on Jen and stuff and everything, so she was just left disappointed, basically. Usman basically asked somebody else out. He asked out, but we'll get to that in a second. So everybody else is back at the beach and they're partying and stuff, and then they decide to leave because cicadas and cockroaches were coming out and everything, basically. So then the next day, so beforehand, like Colt and Courtney have like a little conversation and everything, and Colt said that he wants to get to know Courtney a little bit more and so forth and whatever and everything. So they go back to their room together and everything, and spent the night together and everything. Tiffany and Carlo, she said that they're still basically talking, but it's like, it's still not quite the same like it used to be and whatever and everything. So as everybody packs up, Jen and Cole go back to the room together, and we see on the cam they're making out and Jen getting naked and stuff and everything. And Rob is just in his head. Courtney and Cole have a night together and everything and whatever. The next morning, a lot of the singles and stuff were at the beach, and they were doing this workout. Just all working out and stuff and everything. You had Elise there, and then like Colt and Chantel, and like Chantel, I guess Chantel was trying to use one of the workout things that they had on the beach, and Cole had to teach her, and he was struggling a little bit. I thought it was funny. Cole was just like, I'm not used to working out on vacation and stuff and everything. Like, I just wish this beach had like arcade so we could play video games and so forth or whatever. I'm just like, oh my goodness. Meanwhile, we see Usman. Usman came to the reality that Courtney was hanging out with Colt and everything. So he actually started hanging out with one of the singles that we don't get to see much. Her name was Nikki. She was blonde, really pretty. And Usman was showing Nikki some ways on how to use one of them workout things or whatever and everything. And she was impressed and everything. And so he asked her out. He was he asked her, have you ever been to Africa? And she said no. And she said this is the first time she's left the country ever. And even this is not that far. And so he was like, how would you feel if I bought you a plane ticket to Lagos? And she said, you will have to talk about that after our second date, basically. So Usman just asked her, like, well, would you go on a date with me? And Nikki said yes, basically. So I thought that was pretty cool. Oh, I forgot to mention from the night before, why is Tim getting like Rob and all the other buffing guys all together, and May, the girl who rejected Colt, having everybody do like a push-up contest and everything, who could do the most push-ups in 60 seconds and everything. And Courtney was just like, I'm on vacation. Who wants to do push-ups on the beach? But the guys did it, and so did May, and May held her own with the guys, and they all did were able to do like 60 push-ups in 60 seconds, basically. So good for them. So, everybody's working out and everything, and Usman asks Nikki on a date. Meanwhile, now we're getting into some like strange like topics and stuff. So Tiffany, Carlo, Elise, Chantel have a conversation, and it's about Jen and Rob basically. Um, Apparently, the night that Jen and Rob hooked up and everything, had their night together, Tiffany said that she was hearing noises by the pool, and she heard like it heard like, and she didn't know who it was at first, but she said she heard like a lot of giggling and a lot of naughty stuff and everything. And I guess people are slandering. There's been gossip on the beach there that Elise had hooked up had sex with Rob, and we already established after the second episode that Elise and Rob did not have sex. So there's been some rumors that are spread that Elise and Rob had hooked up, and that has not been the case and everything. But Tiffany is saying that she heard some noises and everything, not knowing that Jen is her neighbor, and come to find out, like Jen and Rob were hanging in the pool and everything. So like they're thinking that Jen and Rob are really like messing up Cole's vibe and everything. Now Cole, like, he's just like basically like thinks that Jen is his wife, everything, and that's the thing I don't like about Cole, is that how he's thinking that she's his wife and everything. All of those people like Elise, Tiffany, and all of them are thinking that that Jen is not the right person for Cole, basically. So Cole comes over, they're talking about it, and Cole comes over and they tell them what they heard and everything and what they think and everything, and how Elise and is getting slandered that she's had sex with Rob and everything. So Cole obviously is pissed and everything. So he decides to go and talk to Rob and everything. And, Rob is just like, why is this dude come here this early in the morning to talk about this? And he's just asking, grilling him with stupid questions and everything. And basically, Rob is like, basically the overall with the question is, did you and Jen hook up and everything? And Rob said no, and he's lying. I see why he's lying, because he don't. Rob has been like trying to compete with Cole this whole time and say, "Oh, I want to make up with Jen in front of Cole and everything. I want to beat Cole and everything." So if you want to do that, then why don't you just be honest with him and say that you and her did hook up? Now, Jen and Cole had recently now just hooked up too and everything, and so like, Cole was just feeling really disrespected. But here's my thing. Why, and Rob made a good point at this. Why is it that like they're targeting them? Because they're all on this singles retreat, trying to like find love, and they're playing the game. So why are we creating drama like with them in particular? Like, they're allowed to date and everything. However, and Jen has said this best. She says she chose Cole to go on a date because she's still hung up on the fact that Rob is still married. And she says she understands that divorce can take a while and everything. She says she's been there, but she feels like he may still have feelings for Sophie, basically, and everything, and it's not officially over. And how you gonna go from a marriage to the singles retreat and everything when it's still not officially over? So, but she needs to communicate that with him, because like both Cole and Rob are really in love with Jen right now, and it's really obvious, basically. So, but I just don't understand why. Like, I understand like why Elise might be upset, because if people are slandering her name and starting rumors saying that she and Rob had sex, and when they didn't, like, that needs to be put to rest like ASAP. But other than that, why is it that like everybody is worried about them. Like there's like so many other people going on, like like going and everything. There's a lot of other people that we don't get to see. We don't get to see the other singles and the other. Apparently, what I found out, the other singles that we don't get to see are hooking up with each other, and they got their own drama. Why don't we see that and everything? Why are we worried about Jen, Cole, and Rob basically and everything? So after that conversation, it really didn't go nowhere. It was just all a bunch of lies and, just dumb male testosterone, basically. So they ended up having like a little social media thing to talk about social media. Basically, they pulled like a good most of the 90 dayers and some of the singles together to talk about social media and stuff. And they had everybody comes in. Jen comes in just looking all thinking she's better than everybody and everything. She gives Colt a hug. She gives Rob a hug and everything. Tim is sitting there and she don't give Tim a hug or anything or whatever and everything. He's just like, of course Jen don't do that and everything. So then after that, they decided to look at Tim's social media basically. And they showed Tim like playing drums and everything, had a picture of him playing drums, and he had a picture of this girl. I don't think it didn't look like Veronica, but he said it was like his ex fiance and everything. And they asked they asked the people like, well, with Tim having a picture of his ex on here, do you guys think that's a red flag? And Tim said it, admitted himself, yeah, if this was the other way around, I would think it's a red flag and everything. And of course, Jen had to make her snarky comment saying, I think Tim is putting off more than what he really is and everything. He's not all this flashy and all that stuff and everything. And, I'm not a fan of Tim, but there she go again. Like, I really don't like Jen. I think this is probably why they're all starting this drama, because Jen just thinks that she's really hot stuff and everything, and she's really not. I mean, like I said, she's a beautiful girl on the outside, but she is not a beautiful girl on the inside. And it's just pretty obvious and stuff and everything. So they talked about Tim's profile, and then Rob decided to go next. And then they showed Rob, and then like the event coordinator was like, asked like those who know Rob the most, do you think this is his version? And so Elise called out Jen. She's like, Jen, you seen Rob in this and everything. So is he like this and everything? And then Jen was just like, well, no, that was you. And then Elise was like, oh no, people have been slandering me, saying I've had sex with Rob when I didn't, when it was clearly you two. Then you got Colt, and you start yelling at Rob, why are you doing this to her? Why are you doing this? Like, why are you doing this? Like, it just started, and it started another cluster, like last night's tell-all was. Like, it was just like everybody just started screaming at each other and everything. Like Colt screaming at Rob, then he started screaming at Jen and everything. And I'm just tired of the lies. Like can anybody just own up to it? But Elise, on the other hand, she's still butthurt about about like what happened with her and Rob and everything. So like she's like egging everything on basically and everything. And I'm just like, get over it. Like why are we doing this? Like this is like, and I don't usually say this because like, all the other YouTubers say this and complain about it. Oh, this is just the scripted TLC 90-day bull crap and everything. But at this point, it is at this point now, because like, this is the producers like egg and drama that really is unnecessary. Like, why are we worried about Cole, Jen, and Rob and everything? They're all here there to hook up and date and meet people and keep their options open. Now, if we get to the end and people are doing this, then we can have this conversation. But we're still kind of in the beginning of this retreat. And it's just, and everybody's just trying to just start stuff because everybody's just butthurt and everything. So So everybody's screaming at each other and everything, and the event coordinators are just like, "What in the world is going on here?" Basically. So and that's basically where we left off and everything. So meanwhile, we did see Chantel get asked out on a date by Joe. Joe's like 25. He asked Chantel like, how you feeling about me? And Chantel still has that girl that she kissed, not 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 Jen from last week, but the girl that she kissed, her friend Ashley, on her mind. But she said she's open to go on. Joe, one of the singles Joe had said, like, I'll call when the event coordinator to set something up and I'll come get you and we'll go on a date. And I don't care about the age difference. I guess he's 25, Chantel's 33 and stuff and everything. But, I thought that was I thought that was a gentleman move on how he did that. I thought that was a good manly move on how he asked Chantel on a date. He's like, look, I'll call her to set something up and I'm going to come get you. That was perfect. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it. So we need to see more of that than this other bull crap. Everybody worrying about Jen and Rob and Cole and everything. Cole, I agree with what Rob said. Rob said that Cole does need to chill and quit acting like she's his wife and everything. And so, but at the same time, both Rob and Colt are still legally married. Like, I just don't know why they're there, period. Like, especially Rob. He literally just went from one resort to another and everything. And then, like, over the weekend, then here's some, like I said, I don't usually do the gossip over behind the scenes gossip, but apparently over the weekend, there was like a little fight in Vegas that Rob and Sophie were invited to, and like they went separately and everything. And Sophie was on video, like on live, and saying, "Oh, I see Rob," and so she goes and runs up to Rob and gives him a kiss on the neck and everything. Rob's just like. And Rob just like backs up, like, man, what is she doing? Man, like, get the heck off of me. Rob is over with Sophie, like, and Sophie was just so surprised. She's like, and she was with this guy named Chad. He's like, Chad, he just like walked away from me. He just like brushed me off and everything. Like, Sophie, he don't want you no more. Now, like, and certain things are starting to like not add up. Just like I said, a week and a half ago, Sophie was just assaulted. Like, she got busted in her lip and everything. We don't know the details. She said she got attacked by a psychopath and everything, but we don't know. Like, I don't know if that was just like if she just got randomly mugged by a person just walking somewhere and somebody just randomly came and attacked her and everything. That was my initial thought. But something's telling me that she's probably, and regardless, there's no excuse for her to get attacked. But something just tells me, because she said that she can't talk about it, is that the police are investigating or whatever. But something's just telling me that, because if she really did just get mugged and just walking somewhere and someone just randomly attacked her, she probably would have said that. Like, I got attacked by some random person, it was scary and everything. I think she would have said that, but me personally thinks that she's probably been running her mouth and everything, and somebody just popped her, basically. No excuse for her being popped, but I'm starting to think that's what happened. So Sophie just needs to chill out. Like, it's done with her and Rob. And it's happening. Rob and I'm glad Rob brushed her off like that, because they go back into the old patterns. They'll meet each other and get along for a minute, and they want to try to work it out, and then they just start fighting again. So yeah, anyway, I digress with that. So yeah, back to the hunt for love. So yeah, and that's, we left off, like I said, we left off with everybody screaming at each other. Cole was screaming at Rob and Jen and everything and all that stuff. And I'm just like, everybody just chill. Like, just mind everybody. How about everybody just mind their own freaking business and find love and shut the heck up? That's all I'm going to say with that. Anyway, yeah, that was basically it of the episode. Like, I'm glad we got to see a little bit more singles. I'm glad we got to see Usman talk to Nikki, because I think Usman going after Nikki. Like I'm tired of the back and forth with Colt, Courtney, and Usman and everything. And I'm not a fan of Usman, but I do think he deserves somebody like Nikki and stuff and everything. So, but let me see what she's about. So they need to show that more. So yeah, but yeah, this was just a bunch of BS in this episode, in my opinion, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. But anyway, guys, that is the end of my review. I'll be back on Sunday, next Sunday, to recap 90 Day Happily Ever After. So be on the lookout for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys again next week. Love you guys. Bye.